My name is Lacy Warner, and I'm testing for Level 2 Riding to Hounds with Sprout in Aldie, Virginia. This is my student Kate. She is 13 years old, and our 12-year-old warm blood Saint. He has not fox hunted, although Kate has, so she knows a little bit more than him and can help educate him. Today we're going to be working on riding in the fields on the hills. There are a couple things I've noticed when people come to fox hunt with me. They've either done a lot of horse showing, or they have done a lot of ring riding, or both, and they haven't done a lot of riding out in the open, particularly in fields and up and down hills like we have today. So our lesson is going to be about how to alter our position up and down the hills. Posting trot down the hill, posting at the walk down the hill. A lot of times we'll do sitting canter down the hill. And then when we come up the hill, we're going to stretch out our horse and ourselves by standing up. That gives us a break from posting. When we're fox hunting, we're out in the hunt for 2, 3, 4 hours or more sometimes. And posting the trot a lot can make our legs really tired really quickly. So we definitely tend to do a lot of standing. She has a breast collar on. That's this piece of equipment right here. And we can also use that to hold onto if necessary. We give those a lot to our riders who are hunting for the first time or who are new to hunting, just as sort of a handle or a safety net. So, when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and do a warm-up walk on the hill, practicing our good posture downhill, eyes up, toes up, and when we come up the hill, we're going to stand up. When you're ready, we're going to just do a little bit of warm-up at the walk, and then we'll do a trot and a canter. After we've done all 3 gaits, we're going to go ahead and add in some hunting lingo. There are some phrases that Kate heard while out hunting that she told me she wasn't quite sure what they meant. So we're going to go ahead and review those for anyone that might also be wondering. So this time when you go down the hill, you're going to exaggerate your shoulders back, and you can go all the way down the hill to the trees. When you come up the hill at a walk, you can do a standing or a 2-point. The main difference between standing and 2-point is standing would be a more upright position, whereas 2-point would be more like jumping position with our hands on the neck and our shoulders forward. Sometimes the steepness of the hill will dictate which one we do. Awesome, and then stand up the hill. Kate, I like how you shortened your rein today. Your horse wanted to trot, which is fine. That's a normal thing that we see a lot. It's easier for them to trot up hills most of the time. We're going to go ahead and do that one more time. We're going to stay a little bit closer to the trees so that we can use a little bit more of our hill. This is also a really good exercise for horses. It allows them to stretch and really work hard. Some people will try to simulate hills with cavalettes, which is great, but hill work is definitely a great way to build muscle, which is another thing that we've been practicing with this horse and rider in particular. When you feel your horse coming up the hill, you can stand up, all the way up. When you're standing, you're going to keep your eyes up, toes up, ankles tight, and you're going to want to look ahead. When we're fox hunting, we have a group of people in front of us. First is the master, and then everyone else that's running in front of us, juniors or kids, go in the back. We're going to go ahead and reverse. We'll do that one time around our circle or on our hill the other way before we trot. So this time we're going to do posting down the hill to prepare for a trot. I like how her horse is really steady down the hill. And when you come up the hill, you're going to stand up or show 2-point. It's perfectly fine to hold onto your horse's mane, the breast collar, whatever you need to. Sometimes when we're out hunting, particularly when our legs get tired, we can hold on to whatever we need to. Are you ready to trot? All right, we're going to do the same thing at a trot. So we're going to do a nice posting trot downhill. To start, we're going to go ahead and expect our horse to have a similar speed of trot down and up the hill. And we might work on a little bit of lengthening up the hill. So up the hill, the first time we can do standing. There you go. Remembering that we are technically preparing for fox hunting. So we're going to keep our eyes looking and we're going to follow exactly where the horse in front of us goes. When we fox hunt, we do not want to pass a horse in front of us unless we have permission. Anyone wearing a red jacket, red shirt, which are also known as scarlet coats, have a status in the hunt that they have earned either through volunteerism, financial compensation, work, a lot of those things, and they have earned the right to be up front close to the action. So go ahead and ask him to trot again. We're going to ask him for a little more trot. In fox hunting, you do not get to dictate how fast or how slow you go. So we want to make sure that our horse can really trot out if we need to, and really slow trot or slow down if we need to. So this time when you come up the hill, Kate, I want to see a standing trot, and I want to see more trot from him. So we're going to let him stretch out. Squeeze your legs nice and tight. There you go. That will also allow him to stretch out, And this time I want to see even more trot. So you remember fox hunting? Pretend like we're on the chase. You can hear the hounds. You can hear the fox. You have to keep up with the horse in front of you, and it's probably me. And you know that I can go fast. So go catch up to Lacy. Go, go, more trot. This is a great extended trot. I like your position down the hill. It's stable. Your legs are tight. And when you come up the hill, squeeze. Go get Lacy. Yes, one more time this direction. And I want you to think that this time that we're following a really fast fox. Show me how much trot you can get from your horse. Stand up. Nice job. Your legs are super tight now. You can go ahead and let him walk. And we're going to reverse on our circle. When you get to the bottom of the hill, you can go ahead and ask him to trot again, thinking this time that we're going to be preparing for a canter. When we fox hunt in second field, which is typically non-jumping, or first field, which is typically jumping, we do a lot of cantering, a lot of galloping. So we're going to take a peek at your position at the canter and the trot, and work on some canter gallop transitions as well. First the trot, stretching him out, allowing him to move forward, stretching his trot to prepare for a canter. One more circle at a trot. Remembering to stay a little bit closer to the trees so that we can use our big hill. That was a beautiful canter transition, and I like that you were able to slow him down. So remember to ask him to trot. Once you pass me, you can go ahead and ask for a canter transition. There, beautiful. That's fine. We can let him canter. He's able and willing. So we're going to turn left and canter. There you go. Awesome. Remembering downhill, we're going to keep our shoulders back. Uphill, standing or 2-point. When you get to me, just hang a little bit more to the left so we can use our hill. There she is. Standing uphill. And ask him to walk. Go ahead and reverse. We're going to do a bit of right lead canter this way, but first we're going to go ahead and ask him to walk one circle, practicing our good position with our heels down, our toes up, and looking ahead to where we're going. So our reins need to be short. We need to be prepared for whatever comes our way. In a split second, the hounds could find a fox, the hounds could be off running, and so will we. Most of the time you can hear them, so you will have time to prepare, but just in case, we need to be ready. So when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and do a right lead canter from a walk if possible. If not, it is no problem. When you want to do a canter from a walk, you're going to sit back, eyes up, and squeeze with both legs. It's a lot easier to do heading uphill. Yeah. So when you're ready, we're going to remember our position. For uphill, we're going to stand up, nice canter transition. And we're going to ask him to canter a few circles. So when we're going downhill, we're going to pick our hands up, keep squeezing. And uphill, 2-point or standing. Nice position. If you feel like you need to trot downhill, that's always fine. My favorite horse to ride fox hunting is one that is what we call rateable, which means when everyone else is taking off, you can independently communicate them and ask them to go at the speed that you want versus a horse that will automatically follow the herd. Really good canter down the hill, Kate. 2-pointer standing uphill. I'm going to encourage you to stand up a bit more uphill. So this time, stand up a little bit longer. Really encourage him to stretch out. We're following that fox. Go, go, go. We want to make sure that if we're going to fox hunt, our horse is okay to gallop. So this time up the hill, I want to see your gallop. 2-point, squeeze. Yeah, we want to make sure there's no surprises in there when we actually gallop out hunting. Go ahead and let him walk. We're going to walk our circle once or twice. And while you're doing that, I want to encourage you to stand up just to stretch your legs and give your horse's back a little break so that he can go ahead and stretch out. Have a little breather. It's a little bit warm today, obviously. And we typically start hunting here in Virginia in September, early in the mornings, so that it's not so hot for our hounds, horses, and obviously ourselves. How's it going so far? Your horse looks good. It's definitely harder going downhill. And that's why we practice, because if you recall, when we fox hunted, we do a lot of hills. You don't get an option of where you go. You have to follow the leader. And our terrain here in Virginia is very, very, very hilly. So Kate, if you want to come over by me, and you can go ahead and line up with your horse's nose pointed towards my belly button. We're going to talk about a couple things that we have heard out fox hunting. So come on over here. A little closer. Perfect, and you can ask him to go. So one of the things that we talked about for fox hunting was some of the lingo that we might have heard out in the field. So one of the words that we use a lot in fox hunting is where, as in a shortened term for beware. We'll say things like where branch if there's a low branch that we might have to go under. The first person that sees it or goes under it will go ahead and yell it so that everyone else behind them can hear it, and we know, even if we can't understand them, that there's something up there that we need to pay attention to. A lot of times when we're going along, if there's a hole or wire or a rock or a culvert, we see a lot of culverts, which can be really dangerous. We will go ahead and bridge our reins. Bridging our reins is a position we use for our reins, where we cross them over in one hand. As you can see, Kate can steer with her left hand or her right hand. That's perfect. And then she would use her other hand to point to something. Show us. Yes. So the best thing about this is usually you can hear when someone tells you these things and you can see that something's going on. But I like to think that it's our responsibility to pass that message along to the horse or horses behind us. That way we are all a team and we're all going out there together. We all need to come back together. So we're going to ride around. And if you see something, sorry, out there, it might be a little dangerous or something that we should look out for, we're going to go ahead and point it out. And we're going to start at the walk. Let me just check your girth before we keep going since we're warmed up. I'm going to tighten that for you. So go ahead and put your leg up there. We don't often get a lot of time to check our girth out hunting. So a lot of times when we stand still, which is called a check, we will go ahead and do those adjustments as needed and quickly, just in case we don't have a lot of time. So when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and go to the right, so clockwise. And you're going to ride around at the walk, and if you see something that might be a little different, or something that someone that's riding behind you should watch out for, you're going to go ahead and bridge your reins and point to it and say where, whatever you see. Now, just so you guys know, we have put some cones out there, so there aren't actual hazards, but this is just an example for practice. I like that you're looking around, you're looking for things in case your horse isn't. Why don't you go ahead and trot? And then if you see them at the trot, we can go ahead and point them out at the trot. Awesome. So next time, if you see a hazard, you're going to go ahead and bridge your reins and go ahead and point at it like this. So I know, oh, it's on the right. Oh, there's something right there on the ground. Ah, perfect. She's saying where hole, so she's pointing at our cones that we put out there so that the riders behind her can show, no. There we go, that was a great one. So if I was behind you, even if I couldn't hear you, I could see your arm pointing at something. I would know there's something up there I need to pay attention to. And even if I couldn't see your arm, I could hear you and know that there's, perfect. Okay, go ahead and let them walk. You can come on back over. So I find that that's really important, because if there was something up there that I needed to know about, I would want someone else to do that for me. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's a hole or rock, wire fencing, a lot of times you'll hear wear wire. That means beware of wire. There's something up there that your horse might get tangled in. So, besides working hard up and down those hills, would you say that your horse was pretty well behaved?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good boy out here. We have practiced a lot out here. Our goal was to also work on your position. So we did, what did we practice up and down the hill?
Downhills we did posting or sitting.
Posting or sitting downhill?
And then uphills we did standing or 2-point.
Standing or 2-point uphill. Do you remember why we change our position sometimes?
For uphills we want them to really stretch out.
So our horse can stretch, yeah?
And then for downhills we want them to, like, what's the word, like balance themselves?
Balance downhill, that's a great word. So, would you say that we achieved some balance downhill?
Yes.
And some stretching uphill, perhaps more in the end than the beginning?
Yes.
Yes, awesome. So next time when we have a lesson together, which is actually tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and work a little bit more on that. We might actually go somewhere else. So if there are hazards, that we will be able to watch out for them. They won't just be cones that we purposefully set up. We might also do some riding through the woods, which presents other challenges. There are things out there like rocks and tree branches. A lot of times in the woods we might actually see like a downed tree as well, which isn't necessarily something we all automatically want to jump. We need to make sure it's safe. That's great. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let him walk, and then once he pulls off of it, we'll go ahead and take him back.